What is going on? What is happening with you, my beautiful people? We got new beginnings coming up with mics now. We going on to bigger and better things, always growing. We got a very special guest, Samantha, and we're going to be getting deep, having a deeper connection, growing together, sharing our insight. And we're going to be doing a little bit different today. We're going to have it reverse style. So my mom, Samantha is going to be asking me a set of questions rather than me directing the questions towards her.
Right. It's going to be cool.
It's going to be cool.
So, how much do your viewers know, or your listeners know, like where you're at in your business and stuff like that? So I want to fill them in, right?
Yeah.
Because I want to kind of don't want to just come out from the corner.
Yeah. Okay. So they really don't know anything.
Oh,
They know a
wow.
little bit. They know of my shop, and they know, but they don't really know a full grasp of it.
Let me kind of fill it in. So, Caleb graduated.
2021.
So just not even a year ago. Not even a year ago. So only a few months ago. He also.
It's actually almost a year.
Almost a year. Almost. In May. In May, it'll be a year that he graduated. 2 months before graduation, he tells me, his mama, that he is not going to go to college, which he talked about forever, and he is going to try something else. So that's caught up on that. Then he decides he's going to open up a CBD shop, Midway Vibes, right?
Yeah,
but
Midway Vibes.
Yeah, but it wasn't CBD shop at first, right?
Yeah.
It was actually a T-shirt business.
Yeah, it was a T-shirt business. That's how I started off originally.
Yeah.
To build up some capital.
Yeah, exactly. To build up capital.
Yeah.
So you build up enough capital, and then what happens?
And then I started saving up, and then it originally just kind of all flowed together in a way, because the money I got from graduation, I put it together.
To do what?
To start buying products that I needed, like CBD products, buying fridges, I guess.
To open up your Midway CBD shop,
Midway
right?
CBD shop, yeah.
So
and then I used a lot of resources that I had, furniture, and most of the furniture is not I didn't have to buy. I just used it from other people, and I cleaned it up. This, I just cleaned it up, painted it, did a lot of.
So you used a lot of resources to get your shop up and running, and then now we come to a
turn of the page.
A turn, right? A turn, and you're kind of at a fork in the road, right?
Yeah.
So there's a fork, and there's all these different directions, and you've changed courses, and that's okay. But that's what this conversation is about, right?
Yeah.
Just being able to pivot during time that you don't either expect it. Obviously, you have to pivot on times that you don't expect, right? Because you're just whoa, you're caught. So, but you did kind of know what was going on, right? And when did you notice? When did you recognize there was a change in your passion or whatever?
I think I had kind of known about it, but I was kind of just nursing it and kind of just be it'll get better. You know what I mean? I just gotta push through it. This is a part of businesses, right? You have dead times and you kind of just don't feel it. But then I was just it continued. It didn't just be okay. I would continue advertising and doing everything, but it just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? And I kind of noticed that, but I just pushed it to the side. I just kept kind of nursing it. I was it's gonna get better. It's gonna get better. And we took a Tony Robbins business mastery course. And
I do want to insert there. I have a question for you before. Sorry, I don't mean to interrupt,
No.
Okay. So you say that you just kept advertising and trying to grow your business, but we all know that starting a business from the bottom up, I don't know who your audience that is listening, but we know that starting a business takes a lot of work.
Yeah.
It's like a baby, right? You're growing a baby. You have to maintain it. And as an infant baby, an infant business, it takes a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So were you in that situation, or was it a situation that you were this is not who I am, this is not what I want to do, I don't see myself living I guess having that kind of I guess who you are.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel it was more of I didn't feel this is who I was. It's not that I just didn't see myself doing it in the long run. I don't see myself. Originally I did see myself, and I saw myself franchising and doing all these amazing things, And then as it continued, I continued doing it. I was I don't see myself doing this in the long run. I don't see myself franchising it I used to. Before I would think of it, I'd get excited. I'd be I need to do this now. I'm gonna do it before 2023. And then now I'm 2023 is just around the corner.
But is it that you're giving up on your goal, or is it so much? Because I don't know if we mentioned this. Okay, the shop, his CBD shop, is now closing.
Yeah, it's gonna close at the end of the month, so February 28th.
Which is really hard for you, right?
Yeah, it is. It is a bit difficult to have to.
I mean, it's very difficult. Because think of a baby. I mean, I can relate to that, and I can get emotional because I think of you carry a baby and then you deliver it and you baby and you take care of it forever and you put so much time, so much energy, so much love, and then they grow up and they leave, right?
Yeah. And
they start their own life. And that's kind of like what a business is. When you start up a business, the whole goal is to grow it, for able to be sustainable all on its own. Mm-hmm. And just like a child, and it'll flourish all on its own. Yeah. If we do it the right way, or if we are the right, we're pat, But what I'm saying is, like, it's hard for a parent. I can't, like, I don't know if you filled in or shared, like, how do you feel about maybe closing this chapter of Midway Vibes and...
Yeah. So, yeah, it's definitely something that was hard, and I feel like it takes... the people I've told, they're like, oh, wow, it takes a lot of emotional maturity. I'm like, nah, it's hard. Like, I don't want to do this. But at the same time, like, I don't see a reason to spend any more time and money just like putting into something that I don't see myself doing in the long run. It's not, if I don't see myself doing it in the long run, like why should I continue pouring into it? You know what I mean? When I could be doing other things. And like it is pretty hard, like, to do it. Like, it takes, I don't know, I think that's really kind of where I'm at. Like, even though it's hard, like, I know something that's coming up will definitely be better, and it's most definitely at the end of Midway Vibes. Definitely going to continue this Midway Vibes Chinwag podcast going on. Going to be seeing some Midway Vibes, probably personal growth courses coming out. I love helping people, so we're definitely going to chime in on that.
Wow, that's going to be cool. I can't wait to see that.
Yeah, Midway Vibes. Exercising, just because I feel like I've changed my life. And I'm a little bit in a steep right now, but for the most part, I feel like once I get out of this, I'll definitely come back better and stronger. But I also... like, I feel like I've came a long way, and that I have some insight that I would love to share.
Yeah. You say, like, you're in a downward thing going on right now, but what I say is, like, the best story is a comeback story.
Yeah. And
that's the best part. Because if you ever think about, like, when you're watching a movie and you're sitting there and nothing's happening in the movie, like, just a sad person, and you're like, throughout the whole movie they're just sad and nothing happens.
Yeah.
It's kind of like you watch the movie and you're like, what are you going to do about it, right? Like, so, I mean, make it your own movie, right? Like, it's your own movie.
Definitely. You told me that, and ever since you told me that a couple months ago, I was like, what would I want to do if I was watching my movie?
Yeah, you would be like, hey, bro, wake up, you've been there too long, or like, when is he going to see that, like, just like when you're watching it from the outside in, it's very different. With you, like, being in your head. Yeah. Well, they say.
When you're in your head, you're dead.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm going to move on to my first question. I just wanted to fill in, like, where you're at right now. So, where we're at, we caught everybody up. Where he's at is he's closing up this chapter of Midway Vibes, starting up a different aspect in Midway Vibes, kind of like a big umbrella, big umbrella, and there's all these great, wonderful things under Midway Vibes. So exactly like that. But I'm gonna just go ahead and jump in.
We caught everyone up.
We caught everybody up, and I just want to move on to the first question. Right, just want everybody to understand, like, where these questions were coming from, basically. So the first question would be, what's an example of a mistake or failure that you experienced while opening and closing your shop? What did you learn from it?
I think opening is definitely, like, not asking for help, like, trying to do it all by myself, and not, like, using, like, the resources I could have used, you know what I mean? Like, I feel like I totally could have took advantage of a bunch more things that I didn't. So I definitely would feel like not being afraid, like, of asking for help, for sure. Like, don't be afraid to ask for help.
For sure.
Like, it could go a long ways, like, literally just such little help, you know what I mean? And I feel like definitely that. And I think being more... not just trying, like, it's good to be like, take action and be like, go, but you should, before, like, doing it, you should make sure you're getting the best, like, possible deal you can. Because I feel like I did that a lot with my business. Like when I was first starting, like I was just like go, and I ordered a bunch of things one, I didn't need or I didn't use, or two, like they were just like expensive, and then I found like a cheaper one like after, and I was like, it's like almost the same thing. Or I even saw better reviews, and it was kind of just like, I think just purchasing unnecessary things. So I think that was for sure something that I'll definitely remember. I'll try to take into better consideration next time.
Just be smarter.
Yeah.
And I also think that goes back to like just being, like a child, like say a 2-year-old, and when they learn how to do something, they're just like, I want to do it, I want to do it, I want to do it. And that's kind of like when you graduate from high school, that's what all the kids are like, I want to go live on my own, I want to go do this, I want to go pay bills. But like, it's kind of like, okay, well, go ahead and go do it, because that's how you learn, right? That's how the kids learn. But at the same time, you look back and you're like, okay, this is what I could learn. I could learn, like, because there's so many people willing to help you. Yeah. But sometimes it's just like, I want to do it. I want to do it all. But as we know, growing a business, starting a business, you need a lot of resources. You need a lot of people, like all hands on deck. Definitely. Which now you know. Yeah. And now you're like, I'm gonna use the resources. Just so anybody else that's listening, they know also that it is normal to want to do it on yourself. But it's also very smart, right? To ask for help. Yeah. All right, so that's my number 1 question. Number 2 is, what's the biggest challenge you're facing right now?
This is cool. We actually talked about this a little bit before, not based off of the questions, but just a little bit briefly. Yeah. Just kind of tons of I get nervous, so I start saying things. And just random things sometimes to like stall time. You don't do that? Yeah. I do that. I do that at work a lot. Like, what? I'm trying to think. They repeat it. I think one of the biggest, like right now, did you see what I was doing? I was stalling time because I'm trying to like avoid being vulnerable. I think the biggest thing I'm struggling with right now is just, I think like making a transition in my life, turning the page. Not even, it's past turning the page. We're like starting a new chapter, and it's just a bit challenging because it's not exactly where I saw myself, and it's kind of like, ooh, what you doing there, bud? But it's also like, it's cool because I know what's coming for me is going to be a lot better than what I ever had in mind. But it's just hard to have that faith and that willingness and knowingness that it's going to be okay. Because there's a lot of times where you can just like easily tell yourself something different, and what you tell yourself is basically what's going to happen, because you have to be certain in what you think so it can like turn into reality.
It's like it's kind of like Rosie with Bob. You are not what I expected. This is not what I expected. Yeah. Hey, I will tell you, when I got married, because I got married, or I wasn't married, but I moved in with your dad, and then we got married like a year after. And marriage life was hard. Like hard for me. And I remember even calling grandma, my mom, and said, hey, why didn't you tell me marriage was not easy? And I'm like, it's freaking hard. And she's like, she just laughed and laughed and laughed and laughed and said, who told you it was easy? It's like, the freaking TV! It looks fun!
You can be driving around in Kias with your kids in the back watching TV all happy.
Singing songs! Singing Rappy! It ain't like that! Nothing! But that's kind of like how it is, right? When you have this one vision or one thing of how you think it's going to be, but in reality it's like this, and you're like, what? Right? That's kind of like what's going on.
Yeah, definitely. It's a changing. Now. It's kind of. It's definitely a changing period, but it's also kind of like a changing period. Like I know what I want, but at the same time, like I don't. Does that make sense? Like I don't know.
Yeah. So now that we're here and we asked this question, so you're closing the shop, but also there's also been another change. What is that change?
I've been like working in construction, concrete.
You're in construction concrete, and that's not where you saw yourself.
That is definitely not where I saw myself. I always told myself, I was like, nah, I'm not going to work in construction.
And your dad would tell you, right?
Yeah. He would be like, you're going to work in construction. I'm like, no, I'm not.
And then, he would tell you, you would say, no, I'm not, and what would he follow with that? Then
you need to go to school so you don't have to work in construction. I'd be like, nah. And now look at me, I didn't go to school and I'm in construction.
Isn't it ironic? Don't you think? A little too ironic. Yeah, I really do think.
Where's that from?
It's a song.
What song?
By Alanis Morissette.
Dang, you even know it?
I used to sing it. Come on,
You're going hard.
in the car.
I feel like I've heard it.
Yeah, you have. I'm sure you have. Okay, so we caught everybody up now in this next chapter of yours. Let me sit upright because I don't know. I look like I'm laying down.
Yeah, you're comfortable. Make yourself at home.
Now, this next one is, what advice would you give someone who is facing a challenge?
Okay. So definitely, if you're facing a challenge, you have to establish what you want in order to get out of like that challenge. Like, what is it that you need to do in order to get out of the challenge? You know what I mean? So
solution.
A solution, yeah. You need to figure that out. And once you figure that out, you need to figure out why you need to get there. Why is it a need for you to absolutely get to the solution? You know what I mean? You need to figure that out. And then once you figure that out, you just start piecing it together. It's kind of like a little puzzle, kind of like a map. Like once you have it on, like you have your destination, so you have your map, you have your destination, but you also have to know where you are. Where do you stand? Do you even want to get to the destination, or do you just want to like stay where you're at? Do you want to actually grow and like go? And like if you're on a treasure hunt, it's obviously, you ever seen Dora? You know when they see Dora, like they almost died. They took psychedelics. It was wild enough in that Dora Explorer movie, remember?
Yeah.
But once they got to the treasure, then they almost died. They got captured.
Yeah.
But then once they got the treasure, it was like so rewarding, and that's kind of how it is with every problem you have. Like you have to like discover, do I even want to do this? And then once you do it, you're gonna go through it, and there's still gonna be challenges. You know, you just have to still overcome, and you have to continue to get to your final destination.
Yeah, that's a great way to see it.
Yeah.
Because for sure, you always think the road to wherever you want to get is straight. Like, it's just straight. It's straight ahead, like 135, Highway 35. I-35. Like, it's not. Like, anything. That's what we think. Going straight, I know exactly where I want to go, right?
Yeah.
But in all reality, it's like...
Yeah. It's twists and turns.
Yeah, you're over there lost in San Antonio or something.
All those roads.
But that's just how it is. But usually when we're sideswiped by life or just not ready to, like mentally ready sometimes, because that's happened to me.
Yeah.
Like it really did happen to me. I opened my shop and then I closed it, but it was kind of like just whatever.
Yeah.
But just wasn't mentally ready.
Yeah.
To like, I just felt like a failure, and that's like one of the things I want to make sure you know, as a mom, that just because you're closing your shop and it's not what you expected, it's really easy to say that you failed, but it's not failure. Like you have really, really learned so much in this journey of you doing this. You've learned how to use your resources. You've learned from your mistakes. You've learned customer service for sure, because you've never even had a job, right?
Yeah.
You've never
just been like little.
Yeah, you've always worked with your dad. Yeah. And so basically, like, you've learned so much here doing this. And just not only I'm going to open a business, you had to learn everything about the business. You needed to learn how to work with customers and how to find customers and how to do all this stuff, right? Like opening and starting a business. And just being out there and vulnerable for a lot of people, because when you put yourself out there, everybody coming after you. Everybody.
Yeah, everybody got something to say.
Exactly. Everybody got something to say.
Definitely, no questions asked. And there's I think it was definitely that point where I had to make sure, I was definitely always working on myself and my mind. I think in the middle of my business, because I was open for 7 months, somewhere around 3-4 months. I think that's when I kind of took off. The first month was super slow, because I was like, what am I even doing? I had
You're so lost.
I had 4 pieces, and I still couldn't even believe that this was mine. I was like, who's gonna come and tell me what to do?
Yeah.
And I had 3 CBD products and 4 little pipes and 1 water pipe, and that was it. and like maybe I had like 3 hours frescas like set every day,
Yeah.
and like I was like barely like the first month was like super slow, and the second month I like kind of I got la onda, like I was ready. I was like, okay, I gotta start having more in stock, so when they come, like I started figuring things out. I started having, I started having.
That's actually something very important for people to know. Like, don't wait for it to be perfect.
It's never gonna be perfect. There's never gonna be a right time.
So you know that never gonna be a right time. It's never gonna be a perfect time, and things will never be perfect. If you are, you know the saying, if you're perfection.
Yeah, it's lowest standard because we can never reach perfection.
Yep. You can never reach perfection, so you'd rather just be perfect than trying it all. So F that out of your brain, and know that doing and taking action is.
Yeah, definitely. So then I feel like the second month, like I kind of like started figuring things out, and then the third month is when I don't know what happened, to be honest. It kind of just like flipped a switch, and I like everything just started like kind of flowing. I started doing like video recordings, and I started like sharing on my social media. Started doing a lot more advertising, and I actually did super free. Just like it just takes time and creativity. I grabbed a couple pieces. I grabbed some of my CBD. I grabbed some of my aguas frescas. I got a dollar poster, a white poster at like Dollar Tree. I put it up and I made like a white background. It looked super legit.
Yeah.
It looked super legit.
Yeah.
It looked like I like paid someone to do it. And then like I had it set up. It took me it did take me 3 hours, but it was totally worth it. I took off from there. I didn't have to pay anyone. I sent it to all my friends I have on social media, and I was like, hey, it would really help me out if you could share this. I'm trying to grow my business. Everyone shared it. I had never had so many people in my life like add me at one time and message me, and like I had people members that I hadn't talked to in forever, and they were like coming reaching out to me, and they're like, dude, I'm seeing you everywhere on social media, like what are you doing? Like everyone, that's whenever I took off, I started getting a lot more client flow. So that means there was a lot more people talking, and that's when I had to I realized I had to start putting different gear and start working on myself a lot more if I wanted to continue doing it, for sure.
Yeah, and if anybody's out there trying to start a business, use social media. I know a lot of people have a lot of bad things to say about social media, but I mean, if you stay away from all that BS and use social media for good, I mean,
what do people say bad about social media?
People say bad things about social media. It's just bad gossip, news.
Oh yeah, that's true, definitely.
Putting out, sharing, or trying to boast. Like saying that what they have, what they don't have, making people feel bad.
Yeah, it's definitely made it like a false reality of what it should be.
Yeah, exactly. People say it's not a false reality, but
if you use it, I use my social media for good. Like my Instagram feed is nothing but like motivational quotes and like inspiring and like things based off of what I like.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. Like
use it for good. Use it for your advantage.
Good. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. A lot of people say it's bad, but if you use it for good, you put out good, you receive good.
Definitely.
So that's why. Okay, so where from here?
Where from here? So I'll be continuing in construction for now. Probably for a good while, definitely. I'm gonna be having the courses I told you about. Definitely continuing this podcast. I'll be getting into real estate most likely. I have.
Whoa! Wait, you just dropped that?
Yeah.
Okay, so. Closing out the shop, you're looking into getting into real estate.
Mm-hmm. It's a little bit past looking into it. Like I'm already kind of into it. I have actually a meeting on Tuesday.
Oh, tell me more.
I have a meeting on Tuesday. I'm going to be meeting with someone. We're kind of going to be interviewing each other. I'm going to be asking them a set of questions. Be asking me a set of questions. Just kind of getting a feel for the company. It's Keller Williams, based out of Austin. And then from there, if that's a company I want to go with, which most likely I will, because I'm kind of partnered up with someone currently. They're kind of guiding me, like kind of as like a coach in a say, but like not necessarily a coach, but they're like kind of helping me with my real estate experience and like getting into it. So I'm gonna talk to them, make sure it's like the right fit and clarify everything, and then from there I'll move on and we'll decide if I want to do it. And then if I do, I will be starting like training and like learning everything I need to get my real estate license.
Cool. You're doing real estate.
Mm-hmm.
So real estate's gonna be a thing.
Most likely, yeah.
Okay.
I'm like 85%
So
sure.
where from here? So real estate.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna work construction.
Mm-hmm.
So are you using construction as like your financial needs, your capital for other things that you're wanting to do, or why is it that you need to stay in construction?
Yeah, construction's for like capital needs, like things because I want to invest. Definitely, I'm invested right now, but it's not an amount that's like I think like that I'm proud of at least. Like I definitely want to invest more in crypto stocks.
What amount would make you proud?
I feel like
invested
2K in like crypto and 2K in stocks. Not all in one. Like obviously divided in and divided in multiple. Like expand my portfolio. Expand
your portfolio. So you're working construction for capital to expand your portfolio.
And also like build my. I'm gonna need. In order to make money, you gotta put money. So like, in order to make my course, like it takes not only a lot of like mental and emotional stuff that I gotta put into it, but I'm gonna need a little bit of money to actually put it out there. You know what I mean? So that, and then this mic, my podcast is technically still a hobby because I'm not really bringing in anything. So like I used some money that I had for this with the mics. So it's kind of just like bringing in that capital for like other things that I'm trying to grow with.
Your heart desires. Okay.
Definitely.
Cool.
And it's definitely a learning experience. A lot of opportunities in the market, a lot of people.
Yeah.
Talk to all these cool people.
Of course. Yeah, for sure. I mean, you're really young, and even if you're not young, actually, I don't even know why I said that. Because even if you're not young, you can always change what you're doing.
Definitely. Yeah.
Anytime. If you are like 60 years old and you're still working and you're like, what the hell am I doing here? I want to do something different. I always wanted to dance. You know, like, what the hell? And so they quit their job. And I'm not saying, you're going to get paid to dance, but you use your brain. But you know what I'm saying? Like, if you had something in your heart, like, just to do it. It doesn't matter how old you are. So I don't know why I said you're young.
Just do it.
Just do it. I don't know why I said you were young. So I want to take that back.
Okay.
But no matter what, you should always do the things that you feel passionate about.
Definitely.
So remember that even when you get older, and because that's a common thing people say, "Oh, I'm too old," or "No, well, my kids." Or,
and I think that was one of the things I told myself when I first started my business. I was like, "I'm too young. Like, what am I doing?" Like, and I think like I broke that pattern, like that limited belief that I had, a couple, like I guess like a month into it, but it was still something that I struggled with definitely.
Mm-hmm. So I only have one more question for you.
Okay.
Tell me the 3 most influential people in your life and how they have impacted you.
Like overall in my entire life, or just like currently?
However. Actually, I think I have one more question after this one. Sorry.
Yeah, no worries. Ask away. I would say entirely. I'll give you like entirely. I would say. You said 3? 3
people.
It's kind of hard.
Tell me about 3 most influential people in your life.
Does it have to be like top 3 or just like 3?
However, you want top 3?
I don't know. No, it's stressful. Yeah. I'll do 3.
Just 3, and then tell me how they have impacted your life.
Definitely. Okay. So I'll definitely say my grandparents for sure were 2 very impactful people in my life. Just because they like in a way they like helped raise me, and they like brought me up. They showed me like obviously some things like that probably wouldn't fly in today's world, but
exactly.
But the morals and the respect and all the integrity they taught me, that definitely I carry with today, and I guess just how it's like treating people, just being respectful and the door open. For not only girls,
is a big one.
Not only girls, but just anyone in general.
Why don't people do that anymore? It is so weird. It is so weird to see young people not open the door for older people. And I'm not saying my age older people. I'm saying older people.
Yeah.
And these kids, I'm going to just say these kids because there is no age bracket. It's just kids in general. They're on their phone or not even paying attention, or even if they're not distracted, they could just be walking into a store and they see an older person and they do not open the door.
Yeah.
They technically just slam the door on them. And
we're
it's
like
ridiculous.
In our own little world. Like we don't even care about like. I feel like I've recently like kind of discovered like that we're all.
It's mind blowing.
Yeah, like I've kind of discovered that we're like we all have our own world, and it kind of trips me out. Like if I think about it, because I'm like I'm over here at work, my dad's over here at this job, you're over here at home, someone else is over here doing this, and I'm like we are just doing our own little thing, and it kind of like blows my mind. It's like dang, like this is it's life, and we're all just like in this world, and it definitely is kind of true, and it's kind of just like we're all in this world, and there's thousands and millions, and I think there's a billion people, right? I don't know. There's a lot of people, right? Anyway, there's a lot of people, and like it's crazy that we like all kind of have our own world. And it kind of makes me think like there's definitely not only just humans on here, there's definitely aliens.
What? What? That caught me off guard. I was like, what are you
Definitely aliens. Remember those
think
UFOs?
so?
Yeah, no questions asked.
I don't know.
I've seen UFOs.
I mean, this is where I stand. I'm not saying that there's not, because there's very high possibility there is, but I haven't seen them, and they don't bother me, and I don't bother them, I don't think, and so we just all cool around here, you know?
Yeah.
That's kind of how I think, because, I don't know.
Yeah,
I'm sure there's maybe other things, I don't know. Who knows? Who
Yeah.
knows?
There is, no questions asked. I feel like there's a lot of things that we don't know about.
Of course.
That other people know about, but we don't know about.
There's no way our human mind can handle so much things.
I think we can. It's just like we can't in today's world.
Bro.
Or like, it just depends on every person.
Bro. They shared COVID and look what happened.
What happened?
They can't tell us nothing. I feel like a mom going, I can't fucking tell you nothing. Look at you. Look at you.
Buying all the toilet paper. How did that rumor even start?
That's how fast chisme spreads. That chisme.
Yeah, be wilding with them toilet papers.
It's crazy. I don't even know why that happened.
Mm-hmm.
But you know, I'm going to be 100% honest. Like, I wasn't panicking, but when I would go to the store, I would see people like frantically buying stuff.
I saw someone in a hazmat suit, like a full hazmat suit one time when I was at Sam's.
Yeah, because if you're scared, like you're scared.
Yeah. Orange gloves y todo. They even had the white boots around and taped with like plastic, and they had like, I think it was medical tape, but I didn't get close because they were obviously scared, and it was like, and they had like white pants, and they like went all over their head, and they had like a glass thing right here, or poly, whatever it is, I don't know what it is, and they had orange gloves. It was legit. I swear, it was a couple.
Oh, it was a couple.
Mm-hmm.
Caleb, that's wild.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. And they had one of those big Sam's baskets, like the flatbeds, and they were like putting everything in.
Oh, they were putting him shopping?
Yeah, she was like pushing it, and he would like go.
Yeah, because at that time you really couldn't like buy.
Yeah.
It was like limited and stuff.
Yeah, so she was like pushing the cart, and he'd like.
I want to say something. I want to like insert something there, but I'm like,
hey.
That's a Biden administration warning. But no, legit, like it was crazy.
Yeah.
Super crazy. I look back and I'm like, we were totally being punked. We were totally being punked. Like now that looking back.
Pull out the cameras. Pull them out. Where they at?
We were being punked.
Yeah, I feel like it is a real situation, but it was definitely way bigger than it ever should have been.
Well, I mean, if you think about it, bro. If you think about it, anything that you don't know, you fear.
Mm-hmm.
That's why a lot of people like us, like we want to do something and we don't do it because it's out of fear. Like, but what if?
Yeah.
But what if? What if that happens? What if I do this and this happens? What? And that's us. It's us as humans.
Yeah.
So that's just put it back in that term, the like COVID. I feel like that's a bad word. I don't want to say it.
Why? You feel like we're gonna get the thing on our video?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah,
we should take it off.
Why? Nah. I'm gonna take it off. I'm gonna get a drink real fast, but continue saying what you're saying. You want one?
I got water.
Alright.
We're gonna have to wrap this up soon because I gotta go pee pee.
Alright.
Okay, so going back to that, like if you don't know it, you fear it. Just like in the business world, what we're really talking about is what you don't know, you fear.
So, definitely.
True that.
You can say that again.
Give me a red 100. The red 100. Oh, I'm so funny.
You have any other
I have one last question.
Okay, hit me with it.
One last question.
Hit me with it.
Wait, did you finish answering? You only gave me one person, bro. Didn't you?
Yeah, I don't even think. I gave you two people.
Your grandparents? Oh, because of people in the doors. Let's go back.
Doors?
Because they don't open doors.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so they showed you how to open doors.
I think just being respectful to people, like how to treat people. Especially, my grandpa really taught me like how to treat, I'd say females, women, like how to treat them with respect. And I felt like I definitely like didn't take it into consideration until I got older, and I would like remember them be like, why why are you telling me? And then like I'm like, oh yeah, like
Give me an example of something he's shared with you.
Like just to be open with them, and like you have to tell them, and like that's something I never really did.
That is so funny because I don't think he was very open.
Yeah, he was. And he'd be like, I'm gonna move out. He's like, I'm gonna go buy a house over there at KB Homes.
He would say that all the time. I remember that.
Yeah, and he said that you have to be nice. Be nice to him. He's like, you gotta be nice to him. You gotta treat him nice.
Oh yeah, be nice.
And then he kind of taught me like
be nice to girls.
He taught me like about little gift giving, like just being like thoughtful in gifts. And I think that's something that's really helpful. Like,
well, if you think about it, till the day he went into the hospital, he would buy Momo snacks. He would go to the dollar store and buy her candy, and they would sit and eat lollipops together. Yeah. What's other things he would do?
Just little candies, or like whenever he was when he would go, because he would do all the grocery shopping. So whenever he'd go, if he would like see something. If he would like see something he thought she would like, he'd like get it for her, and then she would get there. He'd be like, "No quería eso, pole," and then he'd be like,
"She would be mad, for real."
Yeah, she'd be mad.
He would be so thoughtful, and she would be like, "I didn't even want that. Why'd you bring that?" Right?
Yeah, and then he'd be like, "Fine, I'll go back and get another one." But he continued to do it.
He would say, "I'll eat it."
Yeah, I didn't get it for you. It's for me. But he would continue doing it like day after day, and I feel like that's in a way like a true definition like of love, because like you continue giving your love even though like when it's not accepted sometimes, because that's really what love is.
Really deep. Like you give and give and give, and
sometimes it's not even accepted. Like sometimes it's just like relationships aren't like always 50-50. Like sometimes the person's just down and you can't really do anything about it but be there for them. And I feel like that's.
But not to be confused with somebody who's always down.
Oh yeah,
bringing you down.
Yeah, you gotta grow. But like sometimes life just happens.
Yeah. When you're in a slump.
Yeah.
But obviously they have to want to help the damn self first.
Yeah.
Like wake
Can't
up.
do all the work for
wake up.
Yeah.
Come on, we're doing this together. That's the best part. We're doing it together.
Yeah. Have you heard that thing? If you want to go fast, go alone. If you want to go far, go together.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty legit.
That is pretty legit. Well, I mean, now that Dad has both of us on his team, it's basically going way faster.
Yeah.
Way faster. It's crazy how fast it's going. Thank God.
Yeah.
It's been a journey. It's been fun.
All that marketing.
But it's really, yeah, exactly.
We haven't talked about like getting attacked by dogs. Stop. He jumps on me. He's all bigger than me.
Caleb got attacked by a dog, dude, at a job site, right?
Yeah.
Well, not so much attacked.
Yeah, he was just playing, but they're so huge that I basically felt like I was getting attacked. And there was like 5 of them, and like one of them came in first, and I was able to handle him, and I was just like kind of stroking his head. I was like. And then the other one, I guess his brother or his friend came. He like hit my leg, and then like all 3 of them came, and then there was like a 4th one that came.
4 dogs.
Yeah, and then the old man's like, "Get over here, get over here." He's like real old country old man. He's like yelling at the dogs, and dogs don't listen. He has to like go and like pull them off of me.
Yeah.
I feel like I was getting attacked.
Yeah, that's funny. I would have been super scared.
Yeah, I was pretty
I
scared.
would have been yelling.
Yeah.
Actually.
All the guys were all laughing.
Okay, so you said your grandma and grandpa because they showed you how to respect, how to treat a woman, how to give love even when it's not accepted, how to open doors, right? How to be respectful, how to be thoughtful, because that's also being thoughtful.
Yeah.
Like, come on, there's somebody else coming behind you. Not even that they're old, like just
anyone in general, yeah.
Kindness, because that's what the world is lacking right now. Kindness.
Definitely. And I think another thing is just like to always keep going, to be like something else is gonna come. And I think like both of them like kind of, my grandma told me very directly, she's like, keep going, something's gonna come better, like it's okay, we gotta keep going. My grandpa did it more in like smooth ways, you know, but it was more of like they both implied the same thing, that you gotta keep going, you can't just give up and stay down. Like you have to continue going on your life, like it's not over.
Yeah,
it might feel like it's over, but it's not over. And that's a matter of fact, I have it tattooed on my arm.
Really?
Yeah. Really? Like,
oh, yeah, you do?
yeah, I have it.
I was like, I forget it.
Yeah,
I forget you have tattoos.
I be forgetting too. Now that I wear pants a lot more.
When I was a kid, we was 5. Not too long ago.
Now that I wear pants more, like I forget that I have like my leg, like my this leg, and I'm like, oh, I forgot I got a tattoo. But yeah, I actually have this tattoo of my grandma. Keep going, and then after my grandpa passed away, it was like a year in between, and I stayed with her a lot more often. And I didn't like calling her because I called her Momo and Popo, and I just didn't like calling her Momo and Popo just because it was kind of like weird. Like I was just like, nah, I don't want to call her that. It just didn't feel right now that like I guess like the other half wasn't there. You know what I mean?
Oh.
So I like kind of dabbled around. I like told her, I was like, I'm gonna call you something else, and she was like, you can call me whatever you want. So I would like walk in and I'd be like, Elenita, but then like my grandpa called her that, so I was like kind of like, I don't know if I flow with that one. And then there was another one. I don't remember it, but it was kind of similar to Elenita. But I don't remember exactly. I can't like tell you the exact name. And then I went with Elena Grande. I was like, I'm gonna stick with this, and I like this one. I'd walk in and be like, Elena Grande, I'm back home from school, and then she just floated it. She just like laughed every time I called her that. She'd laugh, and they would they're actually in like their family. They would tell me there is a real Elena Grande. And I called her that in front of her sister one time, and she started laughing and laughing. She was like, that's not Elena Grande, that's
Elena Chiquita.
Yeah, Elena Chiquita.
Because also his grandma was really small.
Yeah.
Short.
She was real short, yeah.
She was really short.
And she started laughing, and then they're like, that's not Elena Grande. But
yeah, because there wasn't Elena Grande because of her... because it was Elena Grande, like older. Mm-hmm. That's what they called her, Elena Grande. And then Elena, which was the baby, which was her. Mm-hmm. I think.
Yeah.
I don't know. Making shit up already. So your grandma, your grandpa, that's why. Yeah. What is another person?
I think definitely I'd have to go. I think just kind of like basing it off, like since I'm kind of in that like time zone, I guess. I would say the next person would be someone I met actually in my alternative school. His name is, I don't know if I'm gonna say, I'm not gonna say his name. I'll just say it like for privacy reasons. But I'll say, let's just call him. Let's call him Trey.
Trey. Okay.
Yeah. So Trey, he was a well experienced man. He had a lot of wisdom. He had served in the army. He was like a prison guard. There's a lot of things he's done. Like I think he like even was like a police or something for a little bit. But like he was just a pretty cool guy, and he was like well experienced, well versed, had a lot of wisdom, a lot of knowledge. He was just cool overall, and he was like also in the same era of like my grandpa. So it was my grandpa just passed away, and I got into some trouble. So I was in that alternative school, and like having him there, like kind of guide me, I think really played a major role. And he just like he wasn't only about like you're in alternative school, I'm gonna be mean to you, I'm gonna be like strict. He got to know you. Like it wasn't just me. Like he did that with every student.
He really connected.
Yeah, and he like genuinely cared about you. And like even if you made him mad, like he probably wouldn't go back that day, but the next day it'd be like having a better day today. And like he would always crack jokes, make your day better. Like cracking jokes. He was just like someone I really needed at that time, and he really I don't know if he probably didn't do it intentionally because I've talked to him already about it, and he was saying like he wishes he would have like given me more time, but I feel like all the time he gave me was more than enough. Like it was amazing.
It was enough to connect with him.
Yeah.
And maybe I think sometimes God works like in ways that we don't even understand, and like he maybe at that time, if somebody would have connected with you closer, he probably wouldn't have made that kind of impact. He gave you just the amount of love and attention, connection, and everything that you needed at that moment. Yeah,
definitely. So I would definitely say it was Trey.
Yeah. All right. I totally thought you were gonna say Tony Robbins.
Tony Robbins too, but he's top like overall.
Yeah, overall.
He's like a whole nother level.
I totally thought you were gonna say Tony Robbins.
Yeah, Tony Robbins.
I know the answer.
Yeah, no, Tony Robbins is definitely. I was thinking of more of like my close inner circle.
Yeah.
Tony Robbins on my inner circle.
That's the most important part because having people that influence you closer, like proximity, is key.
Power.
Right? Is power. Proximity is power.
Mm-hmm.
The closer you are to the people that influence you in a positive way. Mm-hmm. Is power.
Yeah.
Why? Because you believe that you can do the things they tell you, or the things that they've done, right? Yeah. Because obviously you don't want to take advice from somebody you don't want to live the same life, right?
Yeah.
But if somebody's living a life that you want, and you're like, I need to do what they do, and I need to listen, like be influential, right?
Yeah.
And also being around people that also make you tippy toe.
Yeah, definitely. You're a little bit uncomfortable.
to be in that little moment of stretch. I can stretch myself a little bit more.
Yeah. If you're the leader of your group, you probably need to find a new peer group because you're just gonna be comfortable and you're gonna start lowering your
standards. Say that again.
If you're the leader of your peer group and like no one else is challenging, you probably need to find your peer group to like challenge yourself and to grow. And it's gonna be scary because you're gonna have to basically go. You know, when you make that transition from 8th grader to a freshman, it's basically what you're doing, but like in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm gonna share something. Like I always say like I don't really have a group that tests me to push me and like call me out on my bullshit because I can really slack because being an entrepreneur, it's easy to do the things that you need to because you're your own boss, but it's also easy not to do them.
Yeah.
And it's easy to fall into that. And when you're around a bunch of people that don't really know the extent that you need to do for whatever it is that you want to do, they don't call you out.
Yeah.
But when you are around people that see that you're slacking, they will call you out, and it's very uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And I was part of a group.
It kind of makes you mad.
Yeah, it does kind of make you mad. You're like, bro, I know what I got to do. And the thing is, then do it.
Yeah, and then they tell you,
do it.
and you're like scrolling on TikTok or Instagram, and you like remember that they told you, like, I probably should start doing that.
Yeah. So I kept telling myself, I don't have really a group that would call me out or somebody who would call me out. And then I took a course, and they had small groups with a lot of individuals that were coming together that were from all over the world. Small groups that they would call you like.
What is this?
My group.
What group?
The group that we would call. You're all like, why wasn't I there?
Yeah.
No, I'm saying like the group, the coaching session that I did at 5 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I was part of this group. So we did the course. You signed up for this. We took it. I signed up for the class. Or it's like small group. And you're part of this group. And every night before the meeting, I was like trying to get my stuff together because it was at 5 a.m.
Yeah.
And I would have like bubbles, like butterflies in my stomach, like
bubbles?
like or bubbles, not like fire, like a lava. No, kind of like butterflies, like going crazy in your stomach. Like I was excited, but I was also very nervous because I knew that they would call me out, and they were like, "Hey, what was the progress for the week? What is it that you did? What is it that you noticed?" And it's not even like a thing that they're like trying to call you out. It's more like you said you were gonna do this. Did you do it?
Yeah.
And it makes you feel really uncomfortable if you didn't.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
did you ever not do them?
I always went into action. I didn't always finish it that week. But there was progress. There was progress. But it would make me feel really nervous. But it wasn't even so much. She would just like check on you and be like, "Hey, did you do it?" And then she would just move on. And it was like, next thing, come on, let's go. Next week, we got to figure shit out. What are we going to do?
You can't stay like moping around.
Yeah, don't be like, this was the thing. And this is what I learned. Don't just sit there and be like, well, I got to finish this. Like, the following week, you're still working on that, but this thing is now next. This is what we're going to grow on. This is what we're going to do.
Yeah.
And that made me feel really uncomfortable. Like, in my comfort zone. Like, oh my God. Like, really like that. And I kept saying, like, oh, I don't have no friends. And then I joined that group, and it was very intense. So, be around people that are going to push you and hold you to your word. Not so much call you out, but hold you to your own word.
Definitely. I feel like you for sure call me out. It's very uncomfortable because I feel like you do it at the times whenever I'm like down. I'm like, what are you talking about? And I get like kind of defensive. But then like after I take in the perspective, I'm like, I guess you were telling me the truth. And then I have like another friend that I recently had on. You know him obviously, Alan.
Oh yeah.
Like he's very like he's unapologetic about calling me out, and I really like that. It's just like that. Just someone I need in my life. Like I appreciate him a lot because he calls me out, and he like not only doesn't he call me out, but he also tells me how I can improve, or like even if I want, like what do I want, and then we like evaluate from there. And it's kind of just like having that peer group is this.
I think you're right on point, but when you say call out, we should probably change that word up because
it's not so much calling you out; it's keeping you accountable. Yeah,
kind of like you said you wanted this, but you're doing this.
Yeah. Definitely, and I definitely feel like
because it's not calling you out. It's just like, hey, bro, I thought you said you wanted this.
Yeah.
Because calling out, I feel like once I started hearing it over and over right now when we were talking, I was like, calling out. I see is like people that are gonna call you out and like put you down. Yeah. Like, what are you said you were gonna do it, you know, like those kind of people.
Yeah.
And then like they just criticize instead of giving a solution.
Yeah.
Or finding other opportunities. Well, I see you're struggling here, bro. Like, what about doing it like this?
Yeah.
But like in a helpful way, not so much like let me put you down because you said
like,
you were gonna do this.
It's more of just like constructive criticism.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And helping the whole situation. The last question I have for you is, what's one question you wish I'd ask you and how would you have answered?
I don't know. To be honest, that's a good question. I don't know. You nervous?
No, my hands are cold.
Oh, your hands are cold? My hands are sweating, look.
Because you're the one that has questions that I'm asking you questions. You don't know the questions I'm going to ask. You're nervous.
I don't know, to be honest. What's one question you wish you would ask me?
Well, the question is more like
directed towards me.
Yeah, it's quite more like, what did you think we were going to talk about?
Oh, well, I kind of knew that we were definitely going to talk about like a new chapter in my life, but I didn't exactly know what we were going to talk about. Okay. I looked onto your computer screen when you were doing some work. I saw this list of questions, and I was like, oh my god! Like it wasn't even like lengthy questions. Like it was just like one-liner questions and like like bullets. And I even think those 2 pages wasn't there. I saw the little icon at the bottom.
Oh my gosh! I think you even said something, right?
Yeah.
You were like, are those all the questions?
I was kind of nervous.
Yeah. No, I was just.
I don't know. I think.
You think I did a really good job in asking you all the questions?
Yeah, you did pretty good.
Filling the gaps with all your peeps, and now everybody's caught up with everything that's going on.
Definitely.
Cool.
Taking that emotional journey, finding your. I think it's
the emotional roller coaster. We didn't talk about that. You just brought that up. The emotional roller coaster with pursuing a passion.
Definitely, and I also think it's just like also the transition of like the change. Like I was telling you this earlier, but it's just like so much change that is happening. That is right now for me. And it's kind of just like. Ooh, like I don't know, like I like change, but I don't know if I even wrote it on my board. I was like, I want to have change. And now
you put that?
Yeah.
Oh, you shouldn't have done that.
And now I'm having like all this change, and it's kind of like, ooh, like what you doing?
You're like, it's making me woozy.
Yeah, but it's definitely opportunities to learn, but it is just like that hard transitioning period. It's kind of like where you know your old self is no longer relevant to you, but you don't exactly fully know who your full self is, so you're like in that transition period.
Yeah, that's kind of sometimes a rough place to be.
Yeah,
because you're just because you're just like, where do I go from here? Like you kind of know, but you don't know. It's a rough place, but I mean, just like anything, you keep doing your little emotional roller coaster and keep moving forward and keep sharing about this emotional roller coaster, because one thing I know that I like to share my personal things is because a lot of times we think sometimes that we're the only ones going through it. And I know I do this, like when something happens to me, I'm like, I'm the only one this is happening to. And in all reality, we're all going through it in some way or another, or we have gone through it. And it's important for us to share our lessons. Not so much like you can share the struggle, but my whole thing is like, share the struggle once you have the solution. Yeah. Because you're not adding any value to anybody's life by just sharing problems, because everybody has problems. But if you have a solution or a way of how you got out of it, on anything in life, somebody else is going through it, and you should share it. But only when you have a solution, because we're all going through stuff, and sometimes when we're all going through stuff, it kind of feels like we're the only ones, or like we're the only ones, or maybe there's 5 of us, we're the only ones, and it's not like that. It's definitely
there's
like
millions
that.
of people out here.
There's millions and billions, I don't know, trillions of people that live here in the world, and we all go through stuff, and we should share our journeys sometimes.
Yeah, definitely.
We're
all having unique experiences.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. So I want to thank you for being vulnerable here. for allowing me to ask you questions, for me to share your journey here. I know you were nervous, and when I brought up the idea,
it was a bit nerve-wracking when I was kind of like all for it at first, and I was like, yeah, this is gonna be great. And then like I kind of started thinking about it a couple minutes past, and I was like, I don't know if I like that idea.
Yeah, because it's like asking questions that you don't really talk about.
Yeah.
But it is important to talk about it, because
Definitely.
for a lot of reasons, people start businesses and they get lost, or people start businesses, or people want to start a business and they don't know what it entails. That we kind of touched on that, and people go through changes. People close businesses. People do things they're places they didn't think life was going to send them there.
Definitely.
I mean, you're in a middle situation of all these other things happening, and I hope anybody and everybody who is watching this, if only one person got something out of his journey and him sharing it, we have done our part, because that's the whole point, is to share our journey and help people light up the path for people that are coming behind us.
Definitely.
Right. Thank you so much for being vulnerable and letting me do this.
Of course. Thank you for coming on. I really appreciate you coming on. It was definitely an amazing chin wag that we had.
I'm going to do that. La 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 la. All right, guys.
Alrighty.
Bye. Thank you for watching, listening to us.